Hello, Mike Bradley. I hope you are doing well as always. And I'm in Australia. Actually, I'm in a zoo at the moment, and it's my last day in Australia. I've been here for 2 weeks. I was here for a friend's wedding and been in Sydney and whatnot, and it's been great. And yeah, my first time down under.
Corner of a crowded empty room, alone with my own thoughts of how I feel for you. I'm afraid to say it now. Let me dust my mind. I know that I don't wanna play no silly little games. Feel more redemption for the pain that's come my way. Trying to take a deep breath.
So, as I was saying, I've been out here for 2 weeks. Came out for my best mate's wedding, and it's been a fantastic time. It really, really has. You know, great friends, big group of us. We were way up north for a while, about 4 hours away from Sydney, and now back in Sydney, and a certain landmark right there. But the only thing about being away for 2 weeks is that I haven't played guitar for 2 weeks. It's been, I'm kind of missing it. I'm missing playing now. So I posted on Instagram that I was going to do a Q&A video out here because it would be rude not to show the amazing scenery and stuff which is in Australia, and I haven't done a Q&A for a while, so let's get on it. And these first questions are from the lovely people on my Patreon, and this first one is from Christina, the lovely Christina, and she's put, "Hi Mike, just wondering if you have tried any water sports in Australia you've not attempted before. Guessing you might, as you enjoy sport generally. Which are your favourite ones? And also," she's asked, "did you take any guitars on your trip and play any gigs? Hope you're having an awesome time." Thank you, Christina. I am having an awesome time. Now, it's funny you say about I enjoy sports, as I'm not a huge sports person, but I do enjoy cycling and I do enjoy running when I can, but I do really enjoy water sports. So it's funny that you say that. I haven't had time to do any necessarily water sports, but I have been in the sea a lot. As any excuse to get in the pool or the sea, I am there, especially the sea, because I love the waves. I love kind of jumping through the waves and kind of you know, body surfing through the waves. I learned that here actually. It's that I have really enjoyed out here. I'm very, you know, anytime I see the water I just want to get in it. I've always loved the water and the sea and swimming, and my dad was really good at swimming and stuff when he was a kid. And I think, you know, I'm being part Jamaican, it might just be in me, because I think I believe I am actually a descendant from pirates. And regarding did I bring a guitar, annoyingly I didn't bring a guitar. I was going to bring, I've got a Journeyman, was it just Journey travel guitar, I forget the name of it. I did a video of it a while ago, I'm sure a tag will be popping up. And I was going to bring that with me and see if I could pack, you know, my hand luggage stuff in it, but it was just too heavy, and I thought, oh, I'll stuff it. And then actually massively regret it, because at the wedding people were saying, "You bought a guitar?" And of course I didn't. And then when I checked in for my flight, I'm flying home later on this evening actually, and when I checked in yesterday, I saw that I could have bought a little, no, my check-in luggage, a carry-on luggage and a backpack, so I could have bought a guitar. Sod's law. Now, next question's from Chris. I say questions, he's asked me a lot, but I'm going to try and get through them. So the first one is, what are some of your musical goals for 2020? That is, I mean, this year's very busy and we're only in March, but I would like to record more music and get maybe not an EP out, but at least a couple of singles out. That's what I'd really like to get for this year. And if I can do some form of mini tour, that'd be good. But you know, stuff like that does financially cost, so you've got to be able to, you know, make sure a business minded can come back in and financially feasible. But I'm certainly like to do that. Another question from Chris is, what gear have you been wishing you had for years, months, but haven't pulled the trigger on? For the longest time, I wanted a vintage Strat, you know, a 1962 Strat. That is what I'd really, really want. But they cost a little bit, and if I wasn't getting married this year, I probably could do it, you know, with savings and stuff. But yeah, but one day, that is something I really, really, really want. I've wanted one probably for as long as I've been playing guitar. And one more from Chris. He's asked, what's your greatest musical accomplishment in the past year? In the past year? Don't know about musical accomplishment, but this past NAMM, it was quite cool to go there, and crazily people knew who I was, you know, as well as people like yourselves who watch, but also my peers, you know, meeting Tim Pierce and him say, oh, Mike Bradley, I've heard of you, you know, and just being recognised by your peers is pretty cool. But that's not really musical. Yeah, so annoyingly, I wouldn't say in the last year I've done something that comes to mind. I've done some cool session gigs. I played on live TV with Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas. That was cool. But yeah, I'll come back to that one at a later date.
To let you in my life, behind my mask, behind my ways.
Here's a question from the lovely Matt. He said, hi Mike, here are a couple of questions for you. One, assuming you had electricity on a desert island, maybe solar power, what one guitar and 3 pedals would you want with you? This is a question a lot of people have asked, similar things like this actually. What one guitar and 3 pedals? I haven't I said amps, because some people said about amps, so I might throw that in there. So one guitar would be a Strat, and then you haven't said it, but I know a lot of people said about one amp. I'll probably say my Hampstead Artist 20, want to get it fixed. And 3 pedals, that's quite easy actually. I would say an overdrive of some sort. I would probably take my Thorpe Peacekeeper. I would take a wah-wah, my exotic wah, and I probably don't even need actually 3rd pedal. I would take a loop pedal. So say I really like the Boss RC30. I've had that for years because it's got 2 pedals, no start stop, and you can do a little drum machine thing on it as well. So yeah, Thorpe Peacekeeper, a wah-wah, RC30, Boss RC30 loop, my Hampstead amp, and a Fender Strat. He's also asked, is there a style playing that you would like to learn to improve upon? And then a follow-up to that, when you try to learn a new style, what is your approach? So is there a style playing that you would like to learn? I really want to get kind of more into, actually there's 2. I've always wanted to get better at classical guitar. Well, I say better, learn it, but stuff what I can do already and I want to enhance on is jazz guitar. I would like to get more into that and walking bass lines and, you know, really expand and learn a lot more, because then you can take that knowledge and put it in blues or pop or rock and roll or something. And then when you're saying, now how do you learn new style, listen to that style of music as much as possible. I remember when I really wanted to get the blues down, and of course I'm still trying to get the blues more down, but that kind of BB King where you're mixing the major and minor stuff together and playing over the chord changes, I listened to that music a lot. I would listen to BB King live at the Regal. I would listen to a lot of Robin Ford, big influence Robin Ford, and the reason I got more into BB King was because Robin would always go on about BB King, you know. So really listening to that music, you know. Same with when I tried kind of getting my country chops down, I would listen to a lot of country music, not necessarily with a guitar and trying to cop licks. It's just, you know, you listen to that stuff and you absorb that vocabulary. You know, it's like if you're trying to learn a language, you know, if you're trying to learn French, for example, you know, listening to that language a lot, or if you can live in that country, you're going to absorb it and it's just going to start going in that sponge, you know. So I view music as a language, and all the different genres of music are different languages, you know. So really listen to it all the time, and then it will start coming out in your playing. Right, next question from the lovely people on Instagram, from Sai0768. Are you going to buy a new guitar soon? If so, what one? I'm not going to be buying a new guitar in the foreseeable future. It's funny, whenever I post a picture of a guitar on Instagram, people are like, "Oh, you're going to buy that? You're going to buy that?" It's like, I don't know, how rich should people think I am? I'm far the complete opposite of that. But no, as I say, I'm getting married this year. I'm in Australia at the moment, as I've said, and so I've been here for 2 weeks, which means I haven't really been earning for 2 weeks. Yeah, financially I'm not in a position to be buying a guitar just yet, though there are plenty I would like. I got a hankering for an SG, and I've wanted the Les Paul Junior P90 for a long time, and I would like a custom made Strat, and as I said in a previous question, having a real 1962 Fender Strat is a big goal of mine. Here's a cool question, and I did say in the Q&A you can ask me anything, ideally music or guitar, but you can ask me anything. And Jack Sonhall023 has asked favourite thing to cook. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably see the and I'll say my favourite thing to cook. I do a thing called Bradley Pasta, which is basically my take on the carbonara, which is nice, but I would say I really like cooking chicken pad thai. Yeah, the one I do, I really like the one I do, it's lovely. So yeah, chicken pad thai. I like cooking, my dad's a chef. It's kind of in me. The only thing with cooking, I don't like washing up. And we haven't got a dishwasher. Now this question's a really good one. Breen Pretty's asked, what's the closest you came to giving up guitar? And this is a really good question, because I think a lot of people go through this. But for me, never. I've never wanted to give up guitar. I started playing when I was 12. And you know, for the first year or so, I probably didn't play as much, because you know, you're trying to, you know, it's hard. It's a blimmin' hard instrument to play, and I remember my dad threatening to take my guitar back to the shop a lot. He used to threaten to do that, and I remember he came into my guitar teacher once after about a year of playing, and I'd saved up and bought my own electric guitar at this point, but he went into my guitar teacher and said, Michael, as I would be called then, never practices. And which wasn't true, Dad, I did, but he would say that, and I remember I was like, right, I'm gonna prove you wrong, Dad. I'm gonna get this. But I've never wanted to give it up, never. And you know, I'm so connected to the guitar, you know. I get frustrated when I can't play well, but then that spurs me on to want to get better at it. So don't give it up, boys and girls. If you are thinking that, just keep at it, and you know, you've got to break through those walls. I class learning the guitar or music and playing music in general as hills. You got to get over these hills, and like get over the first hill. It's like, yes, I've done it. Boom, there's another one. Okay, get over that. You know, yes, I've done it. Boom, there's another one. And unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, those hills are infinite. They're an infinite amount of hills, but you know, enjoy the ride, man. Enjoy the ride. That should be life in general, isn't it? But don't give up. But no, I've never wanted to give up the guitar. No way. This main doesn't matter has asked, what guitarists were your biggest influence? Great question. So I'm going to say 3 here, and these are in order of when I discovered them and the big impact they had. Now the first one, as regular viewers might probably know, is Richie Sambora. When I was 14, I discovered Richie and Bon Jovi, and I just instantly loved him. Big Richie Sambora fan, and I listened to watched Bon Jovi live at Wembley in 1995 on video so much. I had a great video, an audience with Bon Jovi from the Keep the Faith era. So Richie Sambora was a massive influence in my early development. And then someone, actually I know exactly who, it was a guy called Dan from ACM. He lent me Stevie Ray Vaughan live at Austin City Limits video. This was just before DVDs, and that changed my world. I didn't realise you could play guitar with that much intensity. Intensity, is that the right word? Have I just pronounced that right or wrong? Let me know in the comment section below. But Stevie Ray Vaughan, huge influence. And then when I was about 19, 20, I discovered Richie Kotzen, and I was like, man, that's fusing you know, rock fusion stuff with blues and rock and roll and a bit of shred, and he can sing his ass off and writes good tunes. So Richie Kotzen was a huge influence, and still is. So the two Richies, Sambora and Kotzen, and Steve Ray Vaughan, you know, and there's been many others since. You know, Tommy Emmanuel has been a massive influence on me. Seeing Guthrie Govan when I was 13 years old blew my mind, and then being taught by him was incredible. And him and Dave Kilminster, and then you got Michael Landau, who's incredible. You know, the list, Robin Ford, as I mentioned earlier, and Eric Clapton and Hendrix. You know, all the big food groups I'm influenced by, you know. But those three in particular, as I mentioned, Kotzen, Sambora and Stevie Ray, were big influences on the early years of my guitar playing, for sure. So, interesting question. Joris Bossman asked, what do you think of D'Angelico guitars, or D'Angelico guitars? Funny you should say that, because I think just as I get back, I should be getting something lovely from the lovely folks at D'Angelico guitars. I met them at NAMM and played one of their guitars with my buddy Andy Guitar, and we had a jam at the D'Angelico booth, and I was like, oh, these are nice, and then got chatting with the guys. So I think a lot of them, and yes, you may be seeing one popping up very soon. So Long Dogs has asked, do you still practice scales daily? Which ones, major scales, etc.? I warm up with them. I warm up with major scales, 3-note per string kind of stuff, mainly because I'm incorporating more of that kind of slippery, legato-esque playing into my playing, and so yeah, I've been kind of warming up that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't practice pentatonic going up and down that. I've done that for 20 years, so I should know that by now, you know. But I try and learn new scales when I can, you know, and try and incorporate more harmonic minor scales. I haven't dived much into melodic minor scales in a long time, but a bit of diminished as well, you know. So it's just again, it just builds up the muscle memory. They're not stuff I play all the time, so you know, I will occasionally kind of have a little tinkle with them, and make sure I don't forget them. Joey the Anglis, apologies if I pronounce your name wrong. Apologies if I pronounce anyone's name wrong. What are some techniques you have used to get out of a rut, not feeling really inspired to play at the moment? So I posted a video early this year about, you know, getting back into playing and whatnot, and I was feeling a bit down about my picking hand especially, but I wasn't feeling connected with the instrument. But if you are getting a rut, what I was doing, I was feeling I was playing better when I wasn't using a pick, so maybe try that, you know. But if you're in a rut, you know, it's very hard, because everything you feel very disheartened, don't you? But try playing other things, you know, instead of trying to concentrate on lead stuff, just strum some chords, play some songs, you know. Or if chord stuff is getting to you, you know, put a backing track on and start playing some lead, or put a loop down, or, you know, record yourself. That's a really good thing as well. Just record yourself and listen back and think, oh, what do I want to sound better on? You know, phrasing, timing, they're the most important thing, you know. Rhythm, having a groove in your playing, be it if it's chords or lead. they're really, really important factors. So, you know, concentrate on the little things and the bigger things will come. But the main thing, you always want to be having fun with it.
And the complications that seem to come my way. Here's my soul, laid bare for you.
Scribe Music Official has asked, what is the #1 mod that every guitar player should do with their new guitar? That, to me, my friend, would be to make sure the action is set up to your liking. Now, you can go online and find measurements for this, that and the other. For me, I think adjust the action, see how it feels when you're playing, keep doing it until it feels right. So yeah, adjusting the action is a big thing. Don't worry about changing pickup. If you buy a guitar you like how it sounds, you shouldn't then think, I want to go and put new pickups in it, or change the bridge or something like that. You know, sit with the guitar for a while, and then, you know, after 6 months, a year, maybe, if you want to, that way. But you know, you want it to be, don't just leave it how the factory has set it up. Unless it automatically feels beautiful and plays like butter, then leave it. But it's good just to make sure the action is exactly how you want it to be. So that's what I would say. And the last question comes from the infamous Sean Daniel, who has asked, who is the most handsome guitar YouTuber? Now, you know, there's a few of them out there, but, and I'm saying this actually making sure I can get the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Look at that, right there. That's pretty cool. That's almost like a thumbnail. I might have to sort that out. But I mean, it's got to be Sean Daniel. He is the most handsome guitar YouTuber. Surely it has to be Sean. I mean, there's a few knocking around. You've got Paul Davids with his incredible beard, and who else is there? RJ, he's a handsome man. RJ. Peter Norrie, he's a handsome man. I'm trying to think. Carl Golden, he's a handsome man. Yeah, but I think, you know, it's hard to beat Sean Daniel. So you know, it's always been you, Sean. It's always been you. Now I think this is the perfect setting. Look at that, the Sydney Harbour Bridge. I climbed that 3 days ago. I'll put a picture up right now. Click. Yeah, me and my mate climbed that, and it was very windy. It's been very sunny in Australia, and it's also absolutely poured down with rain in Australia as well. And luckily the rain just stopped when we went up there, but it was very windy. But thank you for all your questions. There were loads submitted. I was actually blown away by the amount of questions that people has sent to me. So I'm so sorry if I didn't get to yours. I'll try to get into as many as I can, otherwise this video would be like an hour long or something like that. But thank you for all of your questions. I'm gonna head back and meet up with some friends now for some dinner. Well, late lunch, early dinner, and then go home. So yeah, 2 weeks in Australia, and now I've got basically 24 hours on a plane. All the way back to Blighty. So it's Monday at the moment. What's the date today? It is the 9th of March, and I leave at 10 to 10 this evening, and then I go back in time and I arrive Tuesday UK time at 12 o'clock midday, which will be 11 o'clock at night Australia time. So yeah, it's over 24 hours travelling. It's a long one, but been a great time. Like I say, I was best man at my mate's wedding. He's my best friend, you know, so I wouldn't come out here just for anyone. And yeah, it's been a great time. So thank you for all your questions. If you all like this, let me know in the comment section below, and I will make sure I do more Q&A videos. Maybe not with a setting like this, you know, but yeah, it's always good to answering as many questions and be able to help you all as much as I can. So anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. I'll see you all soon. From Sydney, Mike Bradley is very much signing out. Bye!
The devil's on my side.